You wait. Yeah, you still got this. You want to hear that?
All right. Yep. And it's doing, of course, it's doing YouTube instead. All right. Well, we'll be live and I'll let her know. She can put it on there. And welcome, everyone. Sorry for the hiatus. Been a little while, but we are so glad to be back with you. My name is Pastor William Allspaw. And as you can see up there right now, we have Chris and Kristen Crone. And this is the Millennials and Gen Z's meeting. We just like to call it out. It's like our little talk show, man. We just want to get over here and just talk to you guys about a topic that was presented to us and just give our insight and our feel and our opinion on what's going on in the world when it comes to this. So today, we're going to talk about what can be one of the hardest subjects to talk about. Yeah. Friends. So when I say the word friends, I'm going to be honest with you, just show you how old I am. The first thing that pops in is how many of us have It's like you can't even say that word without that idea just popping in your head or that song popping in your head. But that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about friendships, and we're going to look at it from the natural perspective, and we're going to look at it from a spiritual perspective too. So with that being said, how would you define friendship? What do you define as friendship? All right. So what's you guys take on that so far?
Oh, I define friendship as agreeing. You know, two can't walk together unless they agree. So that's how I define it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, well, I think it's like loyalty, like a friend, because you can, no offense, but you can agree with other people. But I think it's like that, and then it's deeper. Like, why are you calling this person a friend? It's because they can be trusted. They're loyal to you. You can confide in them. They uplift you. You uplift them. Pour into each other. So
that's good. That's good. And it's hard to say what a friend is, I think, but because there's various definitions. But for me, a friend is any individual or group of people that are, like Chris said, like-minded, but who can have something in common, and they have built a relationship with each other based on something that's common. Yeah. Like, for instance, I got two guys, and I literally say these two guys I know for a fact that there was those call them at 3:00 in the morning. I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere. They're gonna be their friends. Yeah. And those guys are Tamaris and Brandon. And that is like, I know for a fact. Now I have other people that I call my friend, but they may not be in that, what they call it, that close circle of friends. So like, how would you separate? Do you separate your friends by circles, or, do you have to separate people out by that relationship and that association you have with them?
Yeah, well, I'm very careful who I even call friend. So like, I have people that I know and I may associate with, we make every now and then, but like who I call my friends is in my circle. So it's not separate. You know what I mean? So like, for me, what separates friends from an associate is like, my friends are like somebody that like, they see me at every stage of my life, like good or bad, but it's not necessarily somebody I have to talk to every day. But when we talk, it's just a connection. Yeah. What I mean? And like, this person, like, whether it's a season of me uplifting them, the next season is the other way around. It's like we pour into each other. It's not always just like take, but it's like they want you to do good and you want them to do good type thing, and relate on a lot of things too. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Like iron sharpening iron type, where you're pouring into them, then they're pouring into you. I feel like, you separate a close friend from like a friend that's just like kind of an acquaintance, that's not really a friend, but it's an acquaintance. Y'all cool when y'all, are around each other or get up with each other. But I feel like a friend, like a close friend, best friend type, is somebody who you could just talk for hours with, about just anything. Like, you can be open, you can open up to them, they can open up to you, you trust them. you know, like the things that y'all have in common are like, you know, kind of the same, you know, the things like y'all like to do. Not, you don't necessarily have to do everything that they like to do, but I feel like y'all speak the same language. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all language are on the same level. Like
you get each other.
You get each other, you know. Yeah.
That's good right there, man. Like that is really good. And I like the way you said that too, CJ. It's like you gotta be selective with people. Let me think. If you're selective with your friends, you know how close you can let somebody in, and you can't just let everybody get too close to you, because let's just face the fact, there are people out there that they just want to be associated with you because of who you are.
Yeah.
There are people out there that just want to be associated with you because of what you can bring to them, or what you can give to them, what you can provide. And there's a lot of friends, you know, we literally in quotations, there's a lot of friends out there. But how do you consider somebody to be a real friend? Like, how do you know this person is your friend? Like, what definition would you put? Like, this person, I know for sure this person is my friend.
Well, I think, because kind of what you were saying a little bit before, as far as like connections, because I think that's the root of all friendship, whether it's a person, a job, or like an interest, it's a connection. And I think for me in particular, sorry, it's a dog.
Okay.
For me in particular, I had a hard time just finding friends, because people would gravitate towards me, but I would mistake like my assignment to them with friendship. You know, if like God put somebody on my heart, or I came across somebody because I desired to have a close friend, that I would kind of want both, you know, but really my assignment was just to pour into that person, and that was it, you know. So now, like, to answer your question, as far as just like how do I even consider anybody just a friend or a close friend to me, is just, I've noticed just certain people that I come in contact, even if I'm thinking initially, because I'm very careful now, if this is an assignment, I will notice that it may be a season where I'm pouring into them, but they also give it back. You know, and it's like what you poured into them in this downtime, it's like they're taking it and they're giving back. But you have some people that just take and that's it, you know, and then that's how I've been able to differentiate like who's for me and who's just like, you may just be an assignment because at the end of the day, you really used me.
Yeah, that's good right there. That is real good.
You said a good part, because some people are seasonal, but then you have those people that just are around. You know, you can always call on them whenever you need them, you know. And you don't have to talk every day. Like I don't like feeling obligated to call you every day and check in with you every day, you know. You have that understanding that, all right, bro, when you need me, you know, you can call me anytime. I don't care what time, just, you know, you got my number, everything, vice versa. And when we talk, like I got friends where like I really call them like my spiritual brothers. But whenever we talk on the phone for like hours, and we just pouring into each other. You know, they're you know, like we're praying on the phone together, just talking about different things going on in our life. We're talking about like spiritual things, because that's what we agree on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we can talk on the phone about sports and stuff, but our interest, what we like talking about, like, is like we like talking about things that's going on in the world, things going on in our lives, like just how to be better. Our relationship with God is like the main thing we really talk about. And so we'll talk on the phone for like hours, dude. Like, and that's who I know, who my friends are. And it's like, when I get off the phone, I don't feel empty. I don't feel depleted. I actually feel like it was a refreshing almost, you know? So it's like, we don't talk every day, but it's like, we'll say, you know, every Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? You just check in, let's check in with each other, you know? So we'll check in, not every Tuesday, but like say like every other Tuesday or something like that. But if we can't, it ain't an obligation. It's just like, he'll text. If I'm busy, then that's just that. But it's one of those things where it's like, you can't, it's like you don't have that type of relationship with everybody. It's rare. You know what I'm saying? It's really rare. So
can I comment on what he said, Will? Oh, I think you're on mute. So
go ahead.
what you said as far as like getting off the phone and like feeling depleted, that was big, because I think for me, I've had that a lot of times, but the reason why I would feel depleted is because my expectations were wanting more from the relationship, you know what I mean? But in the reality, like when I realized, like I said, like this is an assignment, then that's all it is. I'll pour in and then it's like, that's it, you know, like, okay, have a good day type thing. But those moments where I realized like I'm pulling on this person to be something for me, but that they're not supposed to be. You know what I mean? And I would be left feeling drained or empty. I'll be crying to Chris, like, why I don't have any friends, blah, blah, blah. It's not that you don't have any friends. It's just that God is sending certain people to you. You know, you have to be aware of, is this person an assignment? Is this person supposed to pour into you? Or whatever it is, you have to be aware of what he's sending, because a lot of times it could be like a distraction.
That's good right there. A distraction. They can be something that can just take you off of where you're supposed to be getting at. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this one, but like, you ever heard the saying, some people are there for a reason, a season, and that's it. Some people are there for a season in your life. The reason is that they're just there for a short period of time to get you where you're supposed to be at, and then they're gone. Then you got those people that are there for a lifetime, and that person is going to be like, okay, I could call on this person. They can call on me. I'm pouring into them. We got a like-mindedness, and that person helps to grow you and develop you. So do you hang on to friendships? How do you handle friendships that don't develop you? How do you hang on to friendships that don't grow you, or those relationships? And I think the key word that we've been talking about, and we've probably beat it around it a few times, but let's just go ahead and say it. Relationships are what friendships are based on. So if this relationship is not pouring into you, how do you handle dealing with it? How do you cut off those relationships you're not supposed to have, those friendships that you're not supposed to have? How you handle those?
It's like, how do you cut it off? Because let's just say, like, okay, let me think. Like, so, because you can have, like, that's kind of different, but you can have family that, you know, you probably that you kind of outgrew, that y'all were close and y'all were friends, but it's like when you got saved and they're not really living saved, so you don't really agree like you used to, but you don't offend that person, like, we don't, I don't go out to the club, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really do that no more. Things you interested in, I'm not interested in. So it's kind of like, I think you have that understanding, like, we're not going to talk all the time, but we'll see how each other doing. But I think for me, I ain't gonna say, I think it's like almost distancing, kind of like, or let's see. I think it's more so like just having that discernment of, you see where this person is, you meet them kind of where they are, but you don't, you can only go but so far with that person. You get what I'm saying? Like I know they're not up here yet. You meet them where they are on the common ground, but you can't stay there. You can't, like, you don't live there. You know what I'm saying? Where they at, their way of thinking, they're like, if they're super carnal, you just know, like, okay, like after a while, it's gonna start feeling like I'm being depleted. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like after a while, it's like, okay, bro, like, what we're talking about, the conversation, it's like, I don't want to sit here and talk about this all day. Like, I want to talk about something uplifting. So it's like, if you get off of the phone with somebody and you feeling like uneasy in your spirit, and you're just like, man, like, it was good talking to them, but I don't feel like, I feel like I gotta go pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, then like in your head, like, all right, like I'm kind of like, I'm gonna kind of like prepare myself to talk to this person when I do. And then when the gaps in between me talking to this person, it's kind of like, I'm not gonna be pressed to do it. You know what I'm saying?
So just how you cut them off?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
That's how you cut them off. Okay. What about you?
So from my history, how I would cut people off is I literally would just stop talking to them. I know that's so wrong, but I would just stop. But I am learning now, because it has been some instances. Like, okay, let me say this. Not everybody. Like, I've had, before I got saved, I've had like some really close people to me that I consider like ride or die friends. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that it wasn't like something that we had a conversation and it was just, it's just sometimes like life just happens. And especially if you're not walking on the same page, it's like, sometimes it's just God that just comes in and just separates those people. Uh-huh. And it was just like me and her, like I could call her to this day and she would answer, but it's just like, as far as that closeness that we once had, we just don't agree on the same thing. So if we come and hang out, it's like, she may want to drink, she may want to go smoke. And it's just like, what are we hanging out for if that's not what I do? Yeah. And so that's pertaining to like light and dark, but like just people that may actually have a relationship with God and they just not for me. Mm-hmm. What I have done is, like I said before, I just keep it for what it's for, like keep it the assignment for what it's for. Mm-hmm. So like if this is somebody that I know has been pulling on me, sometimes God may just say, get that person, like just close that door all the way. Mm-hmm. But if I haven't heard that and this person may be, calling me to check in or blah, 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 I may not answer that day or whatever. But if I do talk, I'll just keep it for what it is. Like if she says like, hey, how do you handle this situation? I'll just handle it and then go. But in my heart of hearts, we're not there. You know what I mean? And it's just like distance would just happen. But I did have a bad habit of just cutting people off. But I'm
going. Yeah, because it's like certain people want you to come in their environment. Yeah. And then it's like, well, why don't you never come to my environment? Like I gotta be uncomfortable. Yeah. I gotta be uncomfortable to hang with you, but you don't want to be uncomfortable to come hang with me. So it's kind of like, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna keep having to go make myself uncomfortable so we can have a friendship. It's like we gotta meet on common ground. But now nobody wants to be uncomfortable, so it kind of distances itself. It falls off. Yeah.
Literally, like I've noticed that too. Like when it's just sometimes, like you said, Will, like what you carry, like you got glory of God with you, and people who are in the world, if that's the type of friend it was, they dealing with other stuff that don't even want to be around you. So literally, they may cut you off. You know what I mean? Yeah, like they say like, oh, well, she's too judgmental, or and that ain't none of the case. Which you don't like within me, and that's it.
That's why when I first said we don't agree. Yeah, it's like what's in you don't agree with what's in me. It's two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You get saved and you live in a Christian life. It's a whole different world than being like carnal and out there in the world. Like the way you move is different. Right. So it's like when you come in contact with somebody that's out there, it's like you don't agree. You know what I'm saying? You clean and they dirty. And it's like that don't agree. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that was some of the things I was wanted to bring up was like, how do you handle having a relationship or a friendship with somebody who's not living the lifestyle that you're living? And how did you handle like how do either one of you handle like having a friend that was tight with you, but now that you've given your life over to Christ, now they not tight with you like they used to be? How did you handle that? Let's talk, let's be real, because it seems like today, especially nowadays, like people will cut you off in a heartbeat if you're not like-minded like them. Like, okay, I have a friend of mine. I'm just going to be blunt and honest. We were very cool, but because I didn't believe in the same political ideas that he believed in, I ain't heard from that dude in almost 5 years now. Wow. And, you can piece together what was going on between that time period and now. I ain't talked to him in 5 years, and, we just had a different president. But anyway, that's besides the point. We didn't agree on that type of thing. So now he cut me off and he doesn't have anything to do with me. How do you handle when somebody else cuts you off when you don't have that same perspective? And how do you deal with like, okay, I'm a Christian. My friend is not a Christian. Are we still gonna be friends? Can you still have that type of friendship? Can you still have that bond that you used to have? So I know it's a multifaceted question, but what's you guys' take on that?
I can just go off of my experience. And from my experience, even though my heart would want to, like I have a desire to still be friends with the person, it just didn't work. Like it literally just fell off. Or it would be like a certain person that was like, I had a certain friend that was into crystals and stuff. And at the time I didn't know that was wrong. But once I became aware of it, I would voice my opinion, but I'm not trying to force anything on you. It was just kind of like, if I know that you're tapping into this witchcraft, why am I sitting on the phone with you for hours? You know what I mean? It's just like that type of thing. If we're not at that point, when you even think about what the word says, like Jesus, he didn't say just sit and, you know, hang out and have fun with unbelievers. It's like, if you're going to be around them, if you're going to eat with them, you're on assignment, literally. And so it's like, I feel like when it came to those type of friendships, literally, like the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. And if I know I'm trying to, you know, walk with Christ, and what this person is doing doesn't agree with where I want to be with my walk with Christ, it's kind of like how my grandma used to say, you're guilty by association. I'm sitting here with you, you know, you may be drinking, I may not be doing that, but it's like, what, you know, why am I here? I'm guilty by it. And I think the hardest part for me was in that moment where I've lost those friends, whether they cut me off or whatever. So, because I did have friends that just cut me off. I was more hurt because I felt like, what did I do wrong type thing, you know, and it did hurt because these were people that I considered like lifetime friends. But as I began to mature in my walk with Christ, I realized, that was all you got. That was all. So it's like, it did hurt because you don't see these people leaving your life, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, we don't agree. And the Bible says you don't walk together. And that scripture that you're talking about, I think it's in Amos 3, is when you even think about, like, from the beginning of a conversation we just had, Will, you said that it's about relationship. So if the scripture says, how can two walk together unless they agree? The agree is the relationship, what you got in common. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we don't have that in common. It's literally what that scripture says. We can't walk together. Even if you try, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If don't agree. Like if he was Muslim and I was Christian, we don't agree on the same things. We can try to be around each other, but eventually time will just pull us apart.
Yeah. That's good, because that situation, if you're not like-minded, you're going to clash.
Yeah.
And you can be respectful to people who are not like-minded to you. But as far as like the closeness that you're going to have, if those people don't meet and agree, it's not going to work, because it's going to cause you to either contradict yourself.
Yeah.
Or it's going to cause you to put yourself in situations that you don't want to be in.
That's true.
Like you said earlier, if I got a friend of mine who, let's just be real, I got a friend of mine who loves to go to strip clubs. I can't go hang out with him. Like, I want to hang out with him. If we go to an environment that does not involve that, yeah, me and him could go hang. We could catch up with each other and see how things are going. But he's like, hey, Lo, I want to go hit the club. Hey, yo, I got a wife at home and I don't need that. That ain't me no more. So I'm going to chill at the house. And, you know, hey, call me whenever you free. The next time you want to just hang out and just do something different. So, I mean, it's okay, guys. It's okay to cut off those people that are not giving you what you need or building that relationship that you have. What's the most important relationship you can have?
Relationship with God.
So if that's the most important relationship you can have, you have a friend that's guaranteed to be with you regardless of what
that's true.
The natural aspect says. Yes, I've had those lonely times where, like, in the physical, I didn't have the friend I wanted, but that was in the natural. So, but in the spiritual realm, I had somebody I could talk to that understood where I was, that understood what I needed, and consoled me and got me through to where I could be at peace with myself in whatever situation I'm in. So let's just talk about some problems people have with friendships. And I want to hear what you guys' response would be if this situation happened. Okay, so some person said, my old friends are jealous of my new friends. How do you handle that type of situation if you came across that? My old friends are jealous of my new friends.
What are they jealous over, though? The fact that they're your new friend? That's what they're jealous over?
That's what it could be. It's just
jealous.
It's just jealousy. You know, sometimes, I mean, oh, well, he didn't got saved. Now he hanging out with these people, or he think he too good to hang out with us, or they think they better than us. Now he hanging with them. So how do you handle those type of friends?
I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I didn't even think of it the way that you said it, like, for sure. Literally, the first thing that came to my mind was like, different people bring out different sides of you. So like with like my friend so-and-so, like Rachel, for example, with her, I may just be this goofy, just this different type of person. But with Sarah, I may just be more reserved or whatever. And so when Sarah sees me with Rachel, she's like, "Oh, you acting different." It's just like, no, it's just me. But you know, and so then it's more of a jealousy thing, like, oh, so you switch up when you around her, and no. But I have been in a position where I was jealous, was the jealous friend of someone having other friends, and it was mainly because I felt like I was being replaced. Like I felt like me and her were so close, and then like we was hanging out every day, and then all of a sudden she met somebody new. It wasn't that me, her, and the new girl was hanging out. It was more so of like me and her started hanging out less, and I found out she was with the other girl. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that part I can understand both sides. You know what I mean, of the jealousy, but it's very real.
It's very real. That's what I'm saying. Look, I don't say if something pop up in my spirit and I hold it, she gonna end up saying it. That's
yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, that's crazy when you marry like that. Yeah, that stuff happens.
I'm like, I'm over here because I was gonna say that to the first, the question I didn't get to answer, the one before this one, but dang, that's crazy because like it's like a person can be just getting saved and you being saved, but they just coming out of the world. So they're your friend because that part of them agrees with you, but the other part of them don't. You get what I'm saying? So like they can be going to church, but still go to the club after. So it's like y'all meet on common ground and y'all like y'all cool. Like when you want to come to church when we go to church together, but then when you leave, like you bringing around your other friends who y'all about to go to the club later tonight with. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, bro. You know my time. You know, but it's like. What was the last question was like
it was just like how do you deal with jealous friends, right?
Yeah, how do you deal with those jealous friends?
So like the jealous friends, they just gonna have to get over it, you feel me? Like that's just a fact, like bro, because at the end of the day I'm not going back, so it's just kind of like either you gonna come up here because I'm not like I'm gonna hang out with people that you know what I'm saying is up here with me. We going somewhere. Like, you know, I heard that saying, everybody can't go.
Yeah.
Like you kind of leaving them in the dust and they like, man, who do you think he is? But it's like, nah, bro, like I'm going somewhere and I'm not going to hell for you for this relationship. Yeah. So it's either I choose God or I choose you or choose this relationship. And I'm going to wipe my hands, you know what I'm saying, with it. If you not trying to come with you choose to stay there, that's your decision. That's your will. So it's like, God is starting to send other people in my path in my life because he's like, okay, you know, his destiny calls for this, and I'm gonna send people that's gonna help him for the destiny that I call him to. Yeah. So it's like you starting to meet people who up there on your level, and your friends just kind of like your old friends are kind of like dang, like we don't talk as much as we used to. We don't hang out no more. Like what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like I know I see you be hanging out with these other dudes. Like what happened to us? They don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to. It's like, and you don't want to have to explain that to them because they may not get it. Like, bro, like, you know, we on two different levels now. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you got to cut those connections, man. You don't want to have those ties, especially when you're trying to grow. Sometimes you can't have that connection to your past.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Rashid?
What's up, bro?
So, as you guys know, we also have Mr. Rashid Brown joining the conversation tonight. So Rashid, right now we're talking about my old friends are jealous of my new friends. How do you handle that when your old friends are jealous of your new friends? Do you just cut them off? Do you move on? Do you build a bridge between the two of them? What's your take on it? What's your perspective on that type of friendship?
I would say, well, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, we're good.
I would say, if your old friends, if you're noticing that they're not on the path that you're going, like you notice you're trying to go ups and they just kind of staying at that same level, I would say the best thing to do is just move on from them. Even though it may be a tough, you know, you probably been friends with them a long time, but you know, you're coming into like a different season of your life, as my mom would like to say. You're coming into a different season, so you're gonna have to do away with, you know, stuff that a lot of, you know, it's basically getting rid of bad habits, you know, like, you know, with me, I love basketball. So if I'm used to not shooting the wrong, incorrect way, I got to change, certain things to fix that, So
yeah,
I'll say with, old friends, I think the best thing to do is maybe just, eventually part ways with them. But if it's some that want to, maybe elevate themselves and come on, the journey with you, then I would say you could definitely help them with that.
That's good.
It can also be like a control thing. Like I'm not your property. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't belong to you. And it's like the control of like, no, she can only be my friend type thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, no, like I can't. And it's like, if I have two different sets of friends, I'm not saying like not believer and believer. I'm just saying two different, friends, period, that grew up in different lifestyles or whatever. I'm the type of person that if I care about both of these people, at some point I'm gonna want them all to come together. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person I want to just be doing things back and forth. Like we all could just hang out and just be a group, especially as believers. And so if there is a little bit of jealousy, let's start. First of all, that's a sin, so we need to deal with that. Like, why are you being jealous? And the root of it, a lot of times in this situation, is control or insecurity.
Yeah. Also,
good word.
Also, Junior made a good point. Like, if we ain't doing it, like same thing. Like, if we were friends before, like, I started to really live safe, and I was like, we were smoking together, we was drinking, we were doing all this, so we was cool, like we boys, because everything we doing is the same. Like, well, then I stopped doing that, and I'm like, I don't want to do that no more. I'm good. So now we ain't meeting up, because we used to meet up and smoke. We used to meet up and drink. Now we seeing each other less and less, and it's like, dang, bro, what happened to our relationship? It was built off of something that was already unstable. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, now my relationships are built on a different foundation, which is Christ. Like, I want people that are Christ-like. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we keep going around it, but like that scripture is so true. How can two walk together unless they agree? We've all said it different ways, but like, it's just, that's it. And it's also, this is another funny one that I didn't understand when my granddad used to say this one sometimes, and my grandma would say it. The blind leading the blind will fall into a ditch. And that's it. And you can't keep having somebody who's blinded leading you somewhere when you don't know where you're going, because both of y'all gonna wind up in a ditch. You're gonna wind up in a bad situation. Guilt by association. We heard that one also. That's true. So that was one question about how you deal with your old friends. But now here's one. I want you to give me a response to this one. Think of your best friend, the person that you the closest with right now. And now they done decided, I ain't doing this Christian thing no more. How you gonna handle that? I oh man, you believe in God? Yeah, man. I done got awoken to the universe, and the world is, the universe is so much bigger, and I'm hearing the universe, and I done found my understanding in these crystals, and the world is speaking to me and everything else. How you gonna handle that? That's your best friend. That's your A spoon coon. You've been with each other since 6th grade. Now they going out in left field. You gonna just let them go, or you gonna fix it? I mean, I want to hear you guys' response. How you gonna handle that?
Like, for part of you might want to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, fight to save them, kind of like, nah, man, like, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because a true friend gonna keep it real with you. Like, no, bro, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you falling off for real. Like, you going down the wrong path. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought about something the other day. And I'm not off topic, but when you on a narrow path, you notice like how you ain't got as much friends. Like, you had a bunch of friends when you was in the world, because like, that's how I know whether I'm on the right path or not. When I feel like I'm getting a bunch of worldly friends and they coming around, then I feel like that's you on a broad path. You agreeing with everybody. Like, you you on the path where everybody going. Like, y'all all going down. But when you on that narrow path, it's like only a few on that path. So it's like you coming in contact with like a few people that's on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with that friend that's going on that wrong path, it's like you kind of want to go. It's like you kind of, it's like it's like that. What's that scripture where Jesus leaves the 99 to go get the one? Like, it's kind of like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, come back with the group. You know what I'm saying? like you want to save them because the God in you is just like you being deceived, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's just
I have two answers to that. From one, my only best friend now is him, and if he ever did that, he going straight to grandma, and she gonna cast that demon out him. Because I wish he would. But the other part of it is I've actually been in that situation. I've had a friend. Well, I had a friend who we were agreeing, and then I would notice that her Facebook posts were like about psychics and like witchcraft and all of that stuff. But like, it wasn't just a situation where I'm just like, okay, we don't agree. I got to cut you off. It wasn't that. It was, she didn't know, you know what I mean? And she was searching for whatever. And a lot of times, let's be real, New Age, it can be very deceiving. And you think that it's Jesus, it's God, and it's not at all. And so how I handled that situation is I just shifted, I guess, my view as far as our relationship. And I'm understanding at this point, like, because she would ask questions. She'd be like, well, what do you think about this? And then I would tell her. But at that point, once I tell her and she still, decides to do what she want to do, then I'm understanding, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can go ahead and go that way, but I'm here if you have questions. I'm here if you need anything. I'm still going to be a light for you. I didn't just go cut her off. I just kind of less contact, I guess.
What's your take on it, Junior?
I agree with what she was saying. Like, I don't think you should sometimes I don't think you should completely cut them like that, but still remain, like, I would say basically sort of like keep your distance a little bit. Just kind of like let them know that, hey, I'm still, here. I'm still, here for you. And, you can come to me about things, that questions or anything like that. But at the same time, you don't want to kind of still be too close to them, because maybe they might start, throwing some things on you that don't need to be on you and stuff. And, having stuff get on you that it shouldn't be there. So I do think, you should maybe just kind of slowly, like, keep your distance a little bit, but still let them know though that, hey, I'm still doing my own thing. Cause eventually they're going to come, probably back and realize all the other stuff that they've been seeing and stuff like that isn't necessarily helping them like that,
Mm-hmm.
It'll take time, but eventually they're gonna come back around and be like, maybe she was, right about this or something. So
hey, that's a good point, and I think that's effective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's the part of you, like what I said earlier, that wanted to save them, but you don't want to go back. So it's like you, kind of, you like tap them on the shoulder a little bit, and you like, nah, like checking in with them, but you're not really like, you're not really forcing them to, come back. You letting them do what they do, because people, they backslide, they fall off a little bit, and sometimes it's okay, because like they got to realize that ain't it over there for real. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like dang, because you got to think about it. Like sometimes, like, let's be real. Sometimes we feel like we missing out, and they might be in that season of their life where they like, man, all these other people, they doing this, they going out, they having fun. It look fun from this side. The enemy may try to make it look fun, so they go out, like, man, let me go to the club sometime. Let me do this, let me do that, and then they start realizing, like, man, I don't have no peace no more. You know what I'm saying? And then that may lead them to go back, but then they got that experience, they got a testimony now. So it's like you kind of gotta let that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good one right there. So I want to bring up 4 points that I think are like really impactful when it comes to talking about friendships. And you can say, yeah, you agree, you don't agree. So these are some 4 ways that Christians can influence their friendships or develop their friendships. So first thing first, real Christian friends know that the first friend and the most important friend is Jesus Christ. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
So, because Jesus ultimately, he's going to demand that we have nobody else above him. And that's where we're supposed to be at. There is no God before me. That counts for your friends. That counts for just anything. You don't want to place anything above Jesus, because if you got that relationship with him, you're at peace all the time with him. You have comfort in knowing that if everybody else were to turn and walk away from you, you still have him. And that's the most important thing. If you know that, and then you build your other relationships off of that same likeness that he gives you. Like, for instance, he shows favor on you, even when you're not in the best position that you should be in. He still shows favor and love and compassion towards you. So you still want to make sure you keep building that up, but you place nothing else in front of them, nothing else in front of him. So that's something that I think that Christians need to realize, is that if that person is really your friend, they're going to understand, hey, you got to go serve God. So yeah, we may want to go to a concert together. Hey, such going to be in town at the same time, but hey, you got to minister this weekend. As your friend, I shouldn't be upset with you that you're going to take the time out to go study and get yourself built up to where you can be able to be effective in your ministry because of the fact that I wanted you to come to the concert with me. We put God before anything else. And a real Christian friendship will know that. So I'm going to support you and push you to be great for what Jesus wants out of your life if I'm your real friend, because I want to see you succeed and do what the kingdom of God is established in your life. So how do you guys feel about that?
So do you feel like on the other end, like if person, since that defines a real friend, what if it was the other way around and like their religion was different? Like I'm not going to push, them in that direction. You're going to push them towards Christ. You're going to push them and show them how your relationship with Jesus is built and how your relationship and what you have with him is important. And that can help to bring them back to an understanding of him, or bring them to a relationship with him, and they can be established with him that way. See, if our lifestyles are set up in order like they're supposed to be, it's going to start drawing people to us, and it's going to draw people to ask us, well, you know what? Like, how you get that job? Because I know you, or I done seen you, like how you get that job, or how you get this situation to happen for you, or why things seem to be working for you differently and it's not working for me. Well, now I can show my friend or my associate who I am and what I've been doing and how I got that relationship with Jesus Christ and how that's building me to get to where I need to be at. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing you can do. So yeah, that kind of answered that question, or all right, cool. All right. Christian friends, they're selfless. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to put your people in front of you. Yeah. I mean, that's just it. A true friend is going to worry about you and be concerned about you and want to see the best for you. They're not going to be worried about what am I getting out of this. Like we said earlier, if somebody's not pouring into your life, like you're pouring into their life, that person's really not a friend to you. Mm-hmm. That person's really just there because of what you have to them and a benefit that they get from you. There's people I'm just being honest, there's people that tag on to you because of what you are. There's people that tag on to you because, okay, well, Rashid does a great job over here doing his job, and, I want to be like him, so I'm going to hang with him so that way the boss man looks favorable on me because of what he's doing. But that person ain't really Rashid's friend. Yep. Or, hey, I know Chris, he be cutting up hairs and, I want to be like his style. And that person may be wanting to mimic and copy your style, but what they want to mimic and copy your style is because now they want to take that and steal it and use it for their benefit, to benefit themselves. But if that person's not pouring into you and, making you better, like you're pouring into them, then that's not really a good Christian friend. And that's not really a good friendship in the first place. Yeah. So you guys got any comment about that, or, how y'all feel about that one?
I agree with it all. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now here's another big one. And now I've had to lose a friend or two over this one right here. Christian friendships will honor the institutions of marriage and family.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yes.
I'm just gonna be real with you. Mm-hmm. I'm married now. I think between the four of us that's on here right now, Rashid's the only one that's not married yet. He's got us, sorry, ladies. I ain't gonna put his business out there, but right now he off the market right now. So sorry for y'all. But the whole point is Rashid's not gonna call me, hey, Will, I want to go to the race. Say we're just going to race. I want to go to a race on Saturday. And I got us 2 tickets for the race on Saturday. He ain't gonna try to pull me away from my family when he knows I don't work Monday through Friday, and Saturday is supposed to be the day that I'm supposed to be going to hang out with my wife and my son and go do something with them. He ain't gonna sit here and pressure me like, okay, well, yo, you supposed to be my dog, you supposed to be my boy. How you ain't gonna go to the racetrack with me? Or you supposed to be my boy, you supposed to be my dog. How you ain't gonna go to the club with me? Or I just want to go watch the basketball game. We're just gonna watch it at we're gonna watch the basketball game at Hooters. Why you want to go to Hooters? Why can't we go to some? Why can't we go somewhere besides Hooters to go watch the game? Because I know why you wanting to go. So, but they're gonna honor that relationship that you have with your family. They're not gonna try to tear that down or separate you. Your best friend should not be trying to pull you away from your wife when your wife want to spend time with you. Your best friend should not be trying to pull you away from your husband when you and your husband ain't had the time together that y'all want to. Or your family and your friends should not be trying to separate you and your kids from doing stuff. A real friend is going to honor and respect that. And a real friend is going to be like, okay, hey, I got these tickets. I was going to go, but how about you and your wife go? Oh, hey, I got this, hey, I was planning on going to watch the game, but, I got a table reserved for 6 people. How about y'all come and join us? And that way you can bring your son on with you and we can go fellowship together. And we can go hang out and have a good time. See, Christian friendships want to see your marriages or your other relationships with your family built up and strong, because they know that if you got a strong relationship there, well, what if I need some advice on how I'm supposed to handle a marriage? If Rashid sees that CJ and Chris are doing well in their marriage, now he can be like, hey, I got a good friend I can go reach out to. Hey, Chris, how do you handle this with your wife when such and such happens? And now he knows, because that relationship is strong there and that institution is strong there. He can glean off of that and get what he needs to build his. And you ain't going to copy everything that you get from somebody else's marriage. Please don't, because if you do that, you're going to wind up horribly falling apart. I'm just going to call you that. We're going to talk about marriages and relationships one day too. But anyway, we just know that good Christian friends are going to respect those institutions. Like they said, they respect your relationship with God. 2, they're going to be selfless. They're not going to try to pull you away from that, because they honor your relationships that you have with your family and your friend. And the 4th one I want to bring up, strong Christian friendships, they stay on their mission. And what do I mean by that? We friends. Now, all of us live in different places. All of us live separate lifestyles, but we get together to have this conversation once a month because of the relationship we have with each other. And we know we got a mission. Our mission is to help impact the world and let people know, hey, look, you can be a Christian and still enjoy the things that are going on in this world, because you can be spiritually minded and know there are ways to enjoy what God has provided us and these life things that we deal with. So we stay on a mission. We don't try to get off the mission. We don't try to get away from each other's what the mission is supposed to be, which is drawing people to Jesus, drawing people to a relationship with God and getting where they need to be at. But if you got a friend that's always trying to get you off of your mission, I don't know if that's a friend. That might be an associate. That might be that person that needs to be kind of shifted to the side a little bit, like we said earlier, because some people, they're going to be there just for that season. They're just going to be there for that short time. And it might be time to like move that person along. But a good Christian friendship is going to encourage you to continue to stay on your mission and continue to do what you need to do. That person's going to show up when you ask them, hey, look, I got to go speak somewhere. Do you mind showing up for me to give me that support? Or, hey, you mind checking with me? You ain't got nothing going on this Sunday. You mind coming to my church and coming to hang out and see what we're doing? Or, hey, I'm going to come support you at your services in the afternoon because I know I got a responsibility where I'm at right now. And the mission is important. The mission is bringing people to the kingdom of God and helping them to establish their relationship with God first. And then you establishing that relationship with them. How do you guys feel about that one? Like, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, it's it's crazy. It reminds me of the last point you said about staying on the mission. It reminds me of a song that my mom absolutely loved because I would hear it all the time when she would play it. It's a song by a Christian rapper, Canton Jones, and it's called "Stay Saved." Mm-hmm. Yeah, that it basically kind of reminds me of that, like somebody, a real friend being on their purpose and stuff like that. So that kind of like came up in my head a little bit, about him in the video going through certain things and avoiding temptation here and there and stuff like that and being on his purpose. So,
Yeah, that's good. That song was great, man. Like I used to enjoy listening to that.
Yeah, I didn't really get it when I was younger a little bit, but the older I got, now it's like, oh yeah, this song relates now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and on the first 2 points you made as far as like pointing you back to God, and then the second one as far as like pointing you back to marriage and family. The first one, like I've heard someone say, like you can tell a false prophet because they point you to themselves or they point you to another prophet. And a true prophet of God will point you back to him. And that's the same way with friends. Like when, like you said earlier, like even if they don't, if a true friend, even if they're not all the way in agreement of what you believe or whatnot, that true friend will point you back to your source, whatever your source is. And if they know your source is God, they're like, well, you know, maybe you should pray about it. I literally have heard unbelievers tell me that. Maybe you should pray about it, because they know that's what I do to get me back centered. And then as far as the second point, I don't know if y'all realize this, but a lot of times your women know who your real friends are. It's like we just have that discernment. And I've noticed with him, one of the indicators is how they react. Like if me and him got in an argument or something and he called one of them, their response to me would indicate if they were a true friend to him. And it was some people in the past that would literally say, well, nah, you need to, you know, stay single or get single or whatever. And then other people would be like, people that shocked me, they would be like, well, that's your wife. You got to honor your wife. Keep your line clear with you and God. Honor your wife, you know. And that would just show me that at the end of the day, this person may not really care for me, but they respect that you're in a marriage. They respect the union, you know.
Yeah, that's good right there. I mean, you can't have somebody that's going to try to come between you and God. You can't have somebody in your life that's going to try to come between you and your spouse, you and your family. That's not a real friend.
Right.
That's not a true. That's not that one. First and foremost, that's not a true friend. Number two, they're not a Christian either. And this ain't here trying to divide you up.
Yeah.
Your relationships should always build. Should always help to build. If it ain't building, it's breaking. And if it's breaking, it ain't for me.
Right.
Just be real. Go ahead, Chris. You getting ready to say something?
I was saying that it's a hidden enemy for real. Like they might be in your life, or you gotta ask who sent you. You know what I'm saying? Like you sent by God, or were you sent to distract me? Like, are you a hidden enemy? Because the advice you giving ain't lining up with my morals and what I believe in. So it's like, can I really call you when I need advice and I'm like weak and I don't know what to do? Like, you know, if I'm struggling and I'm like keeping it real with you because I think you're my friend, but then you tell me to go with the wrong decision instead of doing the right thing. It's just like dang, like, are you trying to cause me to fall? You know what I'm saying? Almost. So it's like, just, you know, you gotta be able to discern like what that relationship entails. Like, are you there to, because it might be what she said, an assignment for you to help them, but you allowing them to pour into you, and they pouring junk into you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because that's all they know. So they pouring stuff into you because that's what they may have had trauma in their life, or had, you know, a bad relationship with a girl or something like that and been hurt. So it's like, now all they telling you is like, man, you can't trust these females. You can't do this, bro. They, you know, she gonna do this to you. She gonna do that to you. And you like taking it in because you like, dang, like maybe he trying to, you know, protect me. But in reality, it's causing friction in your marriage or in your relationship with your spouse because you're getting information from the wrong source.
That's good right there. And like the idea just popped in my head. It's trying to go away because I know it's the enemy. They don't want me to say it. But back what I said earlier about things are not going there. If it's trying to break down something, it's not there to build it. Then sometimes you got to do that cut off. Now, the other thing is we got to be able to realize that there are times where we're going to have to be that person that's pouring into somebody else.
Yeah.
And a true friend is going to stick by that person when they are in that down situation, and we can help to elevate them and bring them up and get them to that next level that they need to be at, get them to that place where they need to be at, because that's it. Sometimes we got to be that hand to help drag that person up to where we are and get them to that level where we are, to where they need to be leveled with Christ or to be centered with Christ. It's interesting though. Look at the word friend. If you take that R out, what does it say? Honestly, you just rearrange that I and that E. It's fiend.
Yeah, fiend.
You got a fiend in your life. So you got friends, people who are building you up and building a relationship with that are good for you, or you're going to have that fiend. That person is trying to keep you addicted to something you're not supposed to be addicted to, keep you separated from what you're not supposed to be separated from, trying to cause chaos in your life. And, they will use people, and the enemy, he knows the same way that God operates here in this natural world. He uses people to try to operate in the natural world too. True. So that's why we got to keep making sure that we're cautious about who we let into our camp.
Yeah.
We're taking care, but once we let people into our camp, keep making sure they stay established in the camp like they're supposed to be. Keep making sure that they're built up like they're supposed to be, and make sure they're still adding to the relationship that you have with God, and they're adding to the relationship you have with each other. Like you said, iron sharpening iron, and building each other up to get where they need to be at. Go ahead.
It just, as y'all talking, I just thought of what is it feeding? Like, think about it. Like, if like you said, like sometimes you're gonna have seasons where you're pouring into someone else. When you're pouring as a believer, you're trying to build that spirit man up. You're not trying to build their flesh up. But like sometimes other people have it wrong, and their intentions are, I'm trying to build you up, man. I'm trying to get you, get back on your game. But what they're feeding is the flesh.
Yeah,
and that's a good indicator of like, is this person a truth? Whether they realize it or not, you can still indicate, you can still discern the spirit behind it. And the spirit behind it is trying to get that flesh to rise up. Because like, if like, for instance, it was a disagreement between me and him, and he goes to somebody, and that person is just like, just saying, a bunch of mess, just agreeing to how he feels. Because, when we're angry, we just speaking out of emotion. And so if that person is agreeing with me just to agree with me, or just, agreeing with my emotions, instead of saying, okay, I'm not saying that how you feel isn't valid, but let's get you out of that. Let's get you out of that. Let's build that spirit man up so you can really see the true enemy of it, So it just popped up like, what is that friend feeding? Is he feeding your spirit man? Is he feeding your flesh when you're down?
Right.
And that's good.
I want to say something too. It a lot of times it is assignment, and you gotta know the difference between a goat and a sheep. Because God can have, you want to get the people that God wants you to get and reach. Because there's certain people that only you can reach, right? So if you don't want to have no goats. So the goats are the people that you made up their mind that they don't want to follow Christ at all. So you got them people in your life, they obviously just there to cause havoc. But then you have the people that, want God, but they may be in a bad position. They may still be struggling with something, or addiction or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want to judge them and be like, well, they doing this, so I don't want to associate myself with that person. But God may be saying, well, that's my preacher. You know what I'm saying? I want you to, pour into that person. You know what I'm saying? Like help, like kind of help them. But then you have people that don't want God at all, and it's like, wait, you wasting your time with those type of people, because like, you want to have a good heart and you want everybody to get saved, but you got to be honest. Like it's some people that just like don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't want to waste your time. Like, man, like I'm trying to get this person because I want them to go to heaven. Like I want them to be saved. But God is like, well, this person right here really needs you. But you judging their outer appearance because they don't look the part, or they don't look like somebody you would want to hang out with. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like a change of perspective. It's discernment. And it's just keeping your eyes open, because that relationship may just be prayer. Just pray for them. Pray for that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, just continue to pray for them. You got to tell them you're praying for them, or just be a blessing to that person. So, yeah.
Well, that's good right there, bro. All right. Well, anybody else got anything else they want to add to it before we close out for the week, or close out for this session?
I got a question for y'all.
I was about to say, I feel like Junior got something to say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Junior, and then we can answer. Then we can listen to the question.
You got something to say, Junior?
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay. All right. What's your question, bro?
My question is there a difference? Should there be a difference in how you handle or fellowship, be friends with a family member that isn't saved and a friend that isn't saved?
That's a good one.
Because I feel like we give more grace to a family member, but what if their lifestyles are the same?
That's good.
How do you handle it?
Okay. Without being too revealing, I had a family member and I had a friend, both were alcoholics. And I had to realize at my young Christian age that I can't look at my family member one way and then look at my friend another way, because they both dealing with the same thing. So I had to show love to my friend just like I showed love to that family member. And while that family member was going to AA, but the other friend wasn't going to AA, I kept pressing on that friend. Hey, look, man, I know you're struggling with something. Yeah, you may not agree that you're struggling with something, but I kept showing compassion to that friend. To this day now, he's alcohol free. He's got a family, he's got kids, and he's growing and be who he is. That family member, they got off, they're not an alcoholic anymore. But they've also gone on to be with the Lord. But the whole point was you got to treat them the same, even though that's a family member, that friend and that family member both needed me in that situation. And I still need to show love and support to them, regardless of what they were going through. And I personally feel like you shouldn't show grace to one that you wouldn't show grace to the other. It's just like Jesus. Is he not going to show grace to me as a sinner and not show grace to another person who's sinning? It's the same thing. Whether that person stole $5 or that person stole $50, he's still going to show grace to both of us the same way.
Well, to clarify, what I'm saying is, what if it's a family member we may still kick it with? That's my brother, that's my sister, you know what I mean? And it's like they are clearly living a different way, but a friend will say, no, I'm gonna keep you at a different distance. I'm gonna still love you and help you. I'm gonna keep you at a distance. You see what I'm saying? And so how should we handle those people differently, or
no, I think you gotta just go back to me, I'm gonna tell you the source is love. Whether it's a family member or a friend, God called us to love thy neighbor as thyself. So it's like, what does love look like? Love is patient, love is kind, love is not boastful, it's not judgmental, it's not those things. So it's like you just loving that person. Because I was honestly, I think that's what really brings that's what really brings them. It's the love of God that's shed abroad, through us. So through our to our friend or to our brother or to our cousin, it's like there's still, a person that needs God. They still need love. You know what I'm saying? So if you can be that vessel to help, shed that light, be a light in their life, then, to answer your question.
You got anything to add on that, Rashid?
I think I do agree with what Will said, that it should be equal. I mean, I do think if the family member is like if you are closer to that family member than others, the one that's going through things, I do feel like there is a little more lenience for a little bit tougher love, since that they're family, but you still have to keep in mind that don't treat the family member or give them maybe more leeway that you wouldn't give the friend more leeway, so keeping it the same and equal, the
same amount of compassion for regardless of who they are, that can change a person's life too. Them seeing that you love me regardless of how bad off I would. God, it just gives me thinking how Jesus looks at us, the relationship we can have with him. He loves me regardless of how many times I had messed up. He can forgive me regardless of how bad and low I felt about myself. And a true friend will do that for you too. When you're out of bounds, they will help to check you, and they'll do it in a loving way, and they'll do it in a good way. But they can see past how you were and still respect you for who you are today. And I love that I have some friends in my life who are like that, who they don't hold my past against me the same way Jesus doesn't hold my past against me. They remember how I was, but now they're glad to see how I am now. And they're pushing and motivating me to keep being how I am now. And that also helped them to stay motivated and keep pushing and keep being who they are now and grow their relationship with God and develop a relationship with Jesus, a personal relationship with Jesus Christ himself. So that right there is that compassion, man, it's important. And we should always still have that and still show that. And that's a true friend. Show yourself friendly by showing compassion, showing love to people, regardless of where they are, because you never know when you can be that light to somebody else that doesn't know who Jesus is, and become that doorway that they need, or be that gap fill for them to be able to establish that relationship that they need with Jesus. But that's just my 2 cents. So anybody else got anything they want to add today? All right. Well, guys, we thank you so very much for joining us today. We're just going to pray over you guys real quick before we close out our show. So God, we just thank you for just showing us what friendship is supposed to be like, showing us that we can have a natural relationship with people here, but it be spirit filled and it be abounding in the same type of love that you've shown us. So help us to show compassion to our fellow men. Help us to show compassion to those, Father, that you've called us to, Father, in those seasons and for lifetimes, God. Help us to be a light unto other people so that way they can just see how good you are through how you show love to us, through how you connect to us, and help us to build those relationships, Father, that can help take us to the next level of where we're supposed to be at, and help us to pull those, Father, that need to be pulled. And also, Father, help us to have compassion to cut away those that we may not need in our lives, God. But Father, still watch over them and protect them and maintain them, Father, until they be able to understand that you are the way, truth, and light, and they come to you. So we thank you for you just being there for us. We thank you for fellowshipping with us today. And we thank you right now, Father, for the relationship we have with you and the relationship we have with one another, God, so that we can be able to be a light to this world. So it's in Jesus' name we pray and give him glory. And we say amen.
Amen.
Amen. So for Rashid Brown, for Miss Kristen and Mr. Chris, I am Pastor Will. We'll see you guys next time. We appreciate you. We love you. Y'all have a great day. Reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. However you can get out to us. We're there for you.